Dear students, in the previous class we have discussed about reaction of metals with the oxygen and reaction of non-metals with oxygen, what type of oxides they produce and all that. I hope that part is clear to you. Now today we are going to discuss about the reaction of metals with water. What happens when metals are placed in water, that we are going to discuss. Like in the last class I told you, sodium is highly reactive metal. So when it is mixed or it is made to react with water, when you will place a small piece of this sodium in water, you will find that this sodium piece will start burning and it will produce the hissing sound, and it will start floating on the surface and it will produce sodium hydroxide, and the gas which is released is hydrogen gas. This reaction does not require heating. It occurs with the cold water itself. Similar to this, even the potassium will also react with water and it will produce the respective hydroxide, that is KOH will be produced and hydrogen gas will be released. That means the more reactive metals, they will react with water and they will produce the respective hydroxide and they will release hydrogen gas. But if you see another example, that is magnesium. This magnesium, when a piece of magnesium is placed in water, it does not react. Then we have started heating it. The reaction was very slow. Then we have taken a piece of magnesium and allowed the steam to pass on it. Then it produces magnesium oxide and hydrogen. When the steam is passed, that time the reaction is vigorous. That means with steam the magnesium reacts vigorously. But with cold water there will be no reaction. Let us see another example, that is zinc. Zinc do not react with cold water or boiled water, but it reacts with steam. And the reaction, if you compare the reaction of zinc with water to that of sodium with water, you will find that zinc reaction with water, that too in a steam form, is very slow and it will produce zinc oxide and hydrogen gas. Children, try to understand the metals which are more reactive. When they react with water, they produce the hydroxide. But as you go down in the reactivity series, then you will find that the metals, they do not react with cold water, they either react with the boiled water or steam, and the reaction rate is also comparatively slow to that of the sodium. In case of zinc, it is very slow. Let us take another example, that is iron. Iron reacts with water molecule, that is in the form of steam, and it produces magnetite oxide. What it produces? Magnetite oxide, or we can say ferric oxide, and hydrogen gas is released. So in all the cases you will find that hydrogen gas is released. The first experiment is very dangerous, as sodium is highly reactive, so it needs to be performed under the supervision of your teacher. The other reactions where we are allowing the steam to pass, that you can observe easily. Students, just now we have seen the reaction of metal with water. Based on the reaction of metal with oxygen and water, the metals are arranged in a specific manner and they are compared with the hydrogen. Their reactivity is compared with hydrogen. This series is called as metal activity series. It is the arrangement of metals in decreasing order of their reactivity. As you go down from potassium to gold, you will find the reactivity goes on decreasing. That means the top one, potassium, sodium and calcium, they are most reactive metals. Then magnesium, aluminium, zinc, they are moderately reactive or less reactive than these top three metals. These most reactive metals, they can react with cold water also. But this magnesium, aluminium, zinc, they react with steam. That too, if you heat it, then the reaction will be vigorous. Otherwise, they react slowly. Same with the rest three, that is lead and tin. Next, copper, mercury, silver and gold, they are least reactive metals. So the arrangement of metals depending upon their reactivity is called as metal activity series or metal reactivity series. Children, do read page number 45 and 44 to learn it in a better way. Learn the definition of this metal activity series also. It is the arrangement of metals according to their reactivity. Right? Just now we have discussed the reaction of metals with water. In that we found that sodium, potassium and calcium, they vigorously react with cold water. So children, we have already studied that these three metals, that is sodium, potassium and calcium, they readily react with oxygen, and today we have found that they readily react with water also. So that means they are highly reactive. So such metals like sodium and potassium, they are stored in kerosene oil. They are stored in kerosene oil so that they will not react with oxygen or with water. Now coming to the next part of today's topic is reaction of non-metals with water. So children, generally non-metals do not react with water. They do not react with water. And that is the reason you will find that the highly reactive non-metals are stored in water. What is the example of highly reactive non-metal? Yes, that is phosphorus. Phosphorus is stored in water to avoid its reaction with oxygen. We are storing it in water. Otherwise, it will readily react with oxygen, and in case of white phosphorus, it starts burning as its ignition temperature is very low. So that is why this phosphorus is stored in water. Whereas the metals which are highly reactive, they are stored in kerosene. Clear? I hope you have understood today's topic, and if you have any doubt, you can discuss with me in next class.